Start with Labour here. With their you can see the columns of MPs, 306 Conservative MPs there, the blue column, 261 Labour, and then the Lib Dems on 55, and the other parties, Northern Irish, Scottish, Welsh nationalists, the others and so on, much smaller numbers. So let's look first at this Labour column and just ask what happens if other parties support them. Let's take, for a start, the SDLP in Northern Ireland, who take the Labour whip, so we can put them happily in the Labour column, surely. 264 they're on now. You see the party join them at the bottom of the column. 264. Nowhere near the 326 they need for an overall majority. So you start looking around and you think, it's got to be, hasn't it, the Liberal Democrats. And notwithstanding what we've heard from Nick Clegg, let's just put the Liberal Democrats in the Labour column to make this point, that once that happens, they're on 319. 319, so they're still not on 326, even with the Liberal Democrats and the SDLP. And at that point, what do they need? Well, maybe they could say to themselves, Sinn Féin, the 4 Sinn Féin MPs don't tend to turn up at Westminster. They could do it with just a few, maybe a couple less than 326. Maybe they could bring in, this is a bit fantastical, bring in the Scottish nationalists as well, 6 of their MPs. Where are they then? 325. They've just about done it, but that looks like a pretty rocky coalition, not least because Nick Clegg has made it clear that his first thoughts are about the Conservatives because they've got the most votes and the most seats. So let's put them all back to where they were, and let's have a look at the Conservatives now. What can they do with this 306? They're not that far short, are they? They're over 300. They just need 20. They might start with the Democratic Unionists in Northern Ireland. 8 of those MPs, like-minded, surely wouldn't be a problem to bring them over into the Conservative column. They remain short, they're on 314, but they're getting closer. If they look across the other MPs here, the smaller groups of MPs, their eyes might alight on the others. Would that work? Well, one of them is an Alliance MP who took Peter Robinson's seat in Northern Ireland. She would be unlikely to join the Conservatives, more likely to join Labour. The second one, Sylvia Herman, now sitting as an independent unionist, has already turned down the chance of working with the Conservatives. So I don't think we can go to the others here. We may have to instead look again to the Liberal Democrats. It keeps coming back to the Liberal Democrats. The extraordinary paradox of this situation is that Nick Clegg has been pushed back in this election to 55 seats, but has ended up with more power. So once again, let's move the Liberal Democrats and see the effect of this. And now you see this blue column goes way above the 326 needed, 369. So if the Liberal Democrats did start to work with the Conservatives, not as a coalition, not as a pact, policy by policy, put in the DUP as well, they are in a very powerful position. And I'll actually show this inside the House of Commons now. You can see just how far over the winning line they get. Conservatives, Democratic Unionists, and Liberal Democrats, where are they? Let's have a look down here. Winning line is 326. Just look further down for me, 369. So yes, that would do it. If the Liberal Democrats agreed, they would have the numbers. David.
Thanks.